Good morning, welcome to the morning after show, the morning after the night before. I might be slightly on the wonk because my steering wheel is never perfectly straight. Anyway, regardless, let me see, we're stationary. Newcastle United secured a 1-1 fantastic performance, team performance draw at Paris Saint-Germain. So that is 3 times we've played the French Giants in the last, 2 and a bit years. 2 draws, 1 win, 0 defeats. To go to the Parc des Princes, the home of the European champions, off the back of not getting smashed by Aston Villa, but a poor attacking performance, off the back of not being able to lay a glove on a serious Premier League rival at SJP. This was a daunting prospect. And the team sheet, like most people, when I saw the team sheet prior to kickoff, my heart dropped a little bit. I thought, oh no, we're in trouble here. So let's rock through it. Nick Pope in goal, expected. Then it was a bit of confusion about formation, but the 3 centre-backs playing. Dan Burn, great to see him back. Sven Botman, Malik Thiaw. Then you had Louis Miley, Lewis Hall, Jacob Ramsey, Joe Willock, Sandro Tonali, Anthony Elanga, and Nick Voltemade. So, some surprises from back to front. Some real surprises. I didn't expect to see Jacob Ramsey start. I expected Willock to start in midfield. I thought we'd go for the 4-3-3. But it was a 5-2-3, I think, and a 5-3-2 out of possession. So it was Lewis Hall, left wing back, Louis Miley, right wing back, yet another feather in his cap, another tool in his toolbox, another experience, another position. 3 centre halves. You had Dan Burn playing that left-sided, left of the back 3, which he did so well for Brighton, and he did so well for us. I'm trying to think, in particular in the semi-finals against Arsenal last season. Sven Botman slap bang in the middle, and Malik Thiaw on the right side of the back 3, sort of drifting right out wide to help Miley where he could. Then we only had 2 in midfield in possession. Sandro Tonali, Jacob Ramsey. Joe Willock operating off the left, much like he sort of did in tandem with Joe Linton when we finished 4th that season. Anthony Elanga, right wing. Nick Voltemade up front. I didn't expect to see Voltemade. I thought, even though Visser started against Villa, I that should have been an indication, because I would have gone Voltemade against Villa and rested Visser for Paris. However, Voltemade started, Anthony Elanga started, which was a surprise, Jacob Ramsey, which was a surprise. I thought it would be Sandro Tonali, Louis Miley, and Joe Willock in midfield, with Gordon, Barnes, Visser. And I thought, those 3 between them have got 12 Champions League goals this season. But we left big attacking players on the bench, and the first 10-12 minutes aside, it worked a treat. So the first 10-12 minutes, we have a penalty given against us within 1 minute, which was an absolute shambles. I think it's on par with the Tino Livramento one, personally. I forget the winger's name. Is it Billy Baccarat or something like that? I keep wanting to say Baccarat, the French rugby union superstar winger, top class winger, but it's not. Baccarat. The ball comes up from a situation, it hits his hand and then bounces onto Louis Miley's hand. Louis Miley is not, he's just running, and it's no intent whatsoever. He has no idea what's happening. He's just running to keep up with this winger who in the first 10-12 minutes gave him a torrid time. So it was bizarre, and the referee, I thought, all evening, all game, was bizarre. Not just against us, but more often not against us. Bizarre decisions, and that one was just ridiculous. And you think, it's going to be one of those nights. History has repeated itself, but the referee hasn't waited till the final minute to screw us over with a penalty. He's done it immediately. Penalties lined up. Ousmane Dembele, I believe, World Player of the Year, Balon d'Or winner, superstar, boom, decent pen, great save, Nick Pope. We're in it, we're still in it. That first period, like I say, 10-12 minutes, I've said that a few times now, but it was that sort of period of time. PSG were electric. They looked every inch the European champions. They were fast, they were fluid, they were accurate, they were in almost flow state in some ways throughout the midfield and attack total football, players coming in, players going out, making runs off each other, decoy runs, dummy runs, everything. Then they score. Vitinha, in my view, is, if you were going to play a World 11, God, I look tired. If you were going to play a World 11, he would be in midfield. Most teams, it would probably be a 4-3-3. In my view, it's Valverde from Real Madrid. I know he plays a lot of right back, but in midfield. Pedri from Barcelona and Vitinha. They play it through. He's given far too much time and space on the edge of the box. He sends Lewis Hall to the shops and then bends it into the bottom right-hand corner. And you think, oh God, that's 8 minutes in. We should really be 2 or 3 down, because Nick Pope made some great saves. They missed a penalty. Then they score. You think, oh my God, this is going to be a long, long night. They keep up the pressure. Then, sort of about 20 minutes in, it changes. I felt, watching it on TV, the mood, the momentum changed. And it seemed to be, I'm not going to pronounce his name right, but I'll do it my best. Kvaratskhelia, the Georgian winger, number 7. Anthony Elanga gets booked for getting fouled. And Anthony Elanga doesn't strike me as the type of character to gob off at a referee or abuse a referee verbally. It's a coming together. There's no malice in it whatsoever. They sort of tangle legs, both going for the ball, both trying to make an honest challenge for the ball. Kvaratskhelia, whatever, he's damaged his ankle, I think. He ends up going off. And Anthony Elanga, it's a free kick for Newcastle, but Anthony Elanga gets a yellow card. Another bizarre decision. And it's just, what is going on here? But we start to get into the game. Jacob Ramsey had his best game in a Newcastle shirt by a country mile. Joe Willock that was his best game for Newcastle for some time. I'm probably talking years since that season that we finished 4th. And in fact, I quoted the other day talking about this, or last night talking about this, the game where we beat Spurs 6-1, when Joe Willock played, was arguably the best pass you've ever seen, or I've ever seen a Newcastle player play, into Alexander Isak. He was everywhere. He was overlapping. He was rangy. He was galloping around. He was making those runs. He was dribbling. He had attacking intent. Jacob Ramsey was on the half turn, committing players, moving, not always keeping the ball. He did give away a lot of passes, particularly in the second half, but he was keeping things moving. Sandro Tonali, I said to my mate Brad, the V8 is back. The V8's been serviced. It's been tuned. It's out the garage. It's been installed into the whatever Italian car you want to call it. You're going to have to be careful because Ferraris and Lamborghinis don't have V8s, I'm pretty sure. But he's got his torque back, his diesel, and he was on it all game, driving us, energy. Fantastic. Anthony Elanga, again, the flick switch moment in Elanga's career is yet to come, but he showed against PSG, he didn't hide. He gave the ball away in some very sloppy situations, but he didn't hide. He kept going. I thought Dan Burn was deservedly man of the match. Louis Miley recovered from his initial nervy 10, 12, 15 minutes and played like a seasoned right wing back for the rest of the game. We don't have many more chances in that first half, but the goal comes. Joe Willock. It's a long pump upfield from a free kick from Sandro Tonali, route 1. Enrique, the manager, was worried about us corners, set pieces in the press conference because of the size of Newcastle United, and we are at our best quite a physical team. You know, you just look at the height. You've got Nick Voltemada, Dan Burn, Sven Botman, Malik Thiaw, all big lads, all over 6'2". You know, Voltemada's 6'6", Burns 6'7". I want to say Thiaw and Botman are 6'4", maybe. all big lads. And Dan Burn gets the flick on. Joe Willock's alive to the situation, alive in the box, makes a little run, gets it right, gambles, boff, lovely floating header. Not dissimilar to the one he scored against Arsenal a couple of seasons ago. That's what came into mind. Right before half-time, what a perfect time to score. And I think that really changed things. Kvaratskhelia going off changed things, but that changed things as well. We're so in the game. Second half comes around, more of the same, even better. Ramsey, Willock, Tonali doing bits in midfield. The defence is solid. PSG are running out of ideas. Every time they pump the ball into feet, we're on them. Lewis Hall was having a great game. Louis Miley's having the game of his life at right wing back. Fantastic. They have some opportunities, don't get me wrong, but they're reduced to shots from outside the box. We're very lucky with a few. One goes straight at Nick Pope, a few fizz over. Vitinha hit one, and I thought he's destined for the top left corner, very similar to Buendia's goal against us at the weekend. But it just sails over. You're like, oh. Then comes a penalty shout, Marquinhos. Now, I don't think it's a penalty. However, I know the one given against us wasn't a penalty. Now, you've got to draw a line in the sand. You've got to have some consistency. If that first one, not a penalty, if that is given, which it was, then the second one should be given as well. You cannot say one is a penalty and the other isn't when they are pretty much the same scenario. Gets waved away. Brilliant. Then we make some substitutions. On comes Anthony Gordon. On comes Harvey Barnes. Who else came on? I'm trying to think. Visser came on. I think Jacob Murphy came on. I want to say Jacob Murphy came on. And our attacking threat goes up another level, right? Anthony Gordon is causing murder out on the left wing. He's given Hakimi a right good go. Always a threat on the counter. Lewis Hall and Anthony Gordon have that synergy. They have that understanding. Lewis Hall was dropping those lovely looped, curled, floated passes in behind for Anthony Gordon to run onto. He creates. Anthony Gordon has a shot outside the box that goes wide. He then creates a great opportunity, a bit of a half chance really, for Harvey Barnes. He's cutting in, does a lovely little sort of back heel for Barnes, who's coming round the back on the left-hand side. Lines it up on his right foot, and you think, yes, if anyone could bend it in from that angle off the left with their right foot, it's Harvey Barnes. Straight at the goalkeeper, and it was a tricky chance, but you feel like, oh, it's coming. Then comes the chance. Anthony Gordon cannons a shot at the goalkeeper, who is a bag of nerves, by the way. Parries it, and Harvey Barnes is alive. He's at the back post, right foot, just clips the outside of the post, and you think, oh no, that was the chance. That was the chance to win it. And Harvey Barnes, with his catalogue of finishing ability, should be finishing in that. However, I'm not dwelling on any negatives whatsoever. That was a gutsy performance, a performance born of and displaying unity, spirit, teamwork, strength, belief, desire, work rate, all those positive attributes that your typical UK football fan wants to see in their team. Forget all the fancy flashy stuff and XG and passes and step overs and technical stuff. Forget all that. The bare minimum, or let's say the bare minimum, the fundamentals of any team sport, or any sport really, but team sport is teamwork, unity, spirit, desire, work rate, working for each other, digging in, not letting anything go. Every time PSG got the ball, we're 11 men behind the ball. Nick Voltemada didn't have his best game, but not his worst game either. Okay, he worked for the team, he grafted for the team, he had some lovely little touches, he had a shot from like 28, 25 yards at one point, and I thought, yes, have a go, Nick. Don't wait for it to be perfect, because he has got the technical ability to bend one into the top bin from 30 yards. It was blocked or saved, I can't remember which one, and I don't think it was the most accurate strike, but he had the confidence to have a go because he was given that space and that time. But fantastic performance. Real Madrid just a quick aside, Real Madrid lost 4-2 at Benfica. Benfica were 3-2 up. Real Madrid had a player sent off. Real Madrid then had another player sent off deep in the final sort of 10 minutes of the game. Rodrigo, I can only imagine, for gobbling off and throwing his toys at the pram, like it seems most Real Madrid players do these days. But Benfica were not going through to the playoffs. They were 25th. Same goal difference, I believe, as Marseille. One more goal would win it. One more goal would see them through, rather. They're already winning the game. They have a free kick wide right. The last kick of the game. The last kick of the game. Mourinho sends the goalkeeper up. I think it was a midfielder. Whips the ball into the box. Great ball into the box. And who is alive? Who's alive to the situation? Who heads the ball into the bottom corner is the goalkeeper. Last kick of the game. Benfica win the game 4-2. And they go through to the knockout stages off the back of the goalkeeper scoring. That must be the most dramatic... Correct me if I'm wrong. But that must be the most dramatic Champions League group stage moment. The new format, but we're in the group stages, aren't we? Of all time. And I'm going pre-Champions League. Surely nothing has happened, even in the European Cup, that was that dramatic in the group stage. Might even be the most dramatic Champions League goal ever. Obviously, Liverpool and Istanbul, knockout stages, winning goals, Trent's performance at Anfield against Barcelona, stuff like that. But it was unbelievable. Unbelievable. But Newcastle, do you know what? If you'd have said to any Toon fan prior to the Champions League draw, you're going to get very unlucky against Barcelona. 2 moments of magic are going to unstick you. You're going to win away in Belgium, 4-0. You're going to beat Athletic Bilbao, Benfica, and PSV Eindhoven at home. You're going to be unlucky against Marseille. Your goalkeeper's going to cost you with a moment of madness. You're going to draw away to Bayer Leverkusen, and you're going to draw away to PSG. Any Newcastle United fan who's not an absolute mongoloid would have snatched your hand off for that. Now, we were unfortunate not to go into the top 8, but we got a favourable draw. It's either Monaco or Karabakh. I don't know how they'd work that out, but either one, fine. We probably prefer Monaco because of the travel time and stuff like that, but there we go. And yeah, you look at the team, how on earth Tottenham have made it through is beyond me, but come on, you Spurs, fair play to them. Excuse me. Just a gutsy performance. Now, let's go and back it up at Anfield. Let's go to Anfield and fucking win. We've not won at Anfield for... I don't know how long, to be honest. It's been a long time. I want to say... In the season we got relegated, 2016, I want to say we beat Liverpool 2-0 that season, but I don't know. Gini Wijnaldum scored 2. I don't know if it was at Anfield or SJP. However, we move. Thank you for watching. Please comment, like, subscribe, all that malarkey. And yeah, Saturday night, Anfield. Let's go.